Hi again, Kendon here, and this is the first episode on the series of films about Shimano group sets. We're gonna be covering all the group sets there are for MTB, road, city, trekking, whatever. I'll be trying to help you make a right choice when choosing some components, buying some components for your bikes, so that you'll be able to save money and really buy something that you will use and you will be happy with. We are starting with the MTB range from the lowest level, and really the lowest group sets on the MTB, let's call it, range is the Shimano Tourney. Because we've got Tourney, Acera, Altus, Alivio, Diori, SLX, XT and XTI. We've got also the Z and Saint that are different also group sets for MTB use. But this Tourney, Shimano is very clear about these components. Shimano Tourney, they say that these components have the look of MTB bikes or MTB group set, but they are not meant to be used for the mountain bikes or in the mountains, in some rough terrain, maybe not rough terrain, but some cross country, let's call it. They say that these components were made for bikes that are used in the city, on some nice paths and so on. Why do they give these components then the MTB look? These are very often sold with super cheap bikes, and those sellers of those bikes, they sell it in some, not in bike stores, very often in some grocery store or anything, some supermarket. They would like to have this MTB style, and they call their bikes MTB, but Shimano say this group set is not meant for MTB use. Now, to be completely fair, I've been using Shimano Tourney on my first bikes in 1992, and I was competing on that in cross-country and marathons, and the group set was awesome. because it was super easy to maintain, and I had no issues whatsoever. Anyway, let's just start with Tourney. Actually, we have two Tourney group sets. This is a Shimano Tourney, and the other one is Tourney TX. What's the difference between those two, and what do you really get from these cheap components? I'm gonna cover that in this video. Let's start with Shimano Tourney. Now, one of the first things I would like to tell you here is that we have here this Shimano or SIS system. SIS means Shimano index system. That means indexing while you're changing your gears. So you can feel and hear the click on your shifter, then you know you're on the next gear. And dual as SIS index means that you have the system both for your right shifter and left shifter, or your chain set and your cassette or freewheel in the rear, right? So you have this indexes, you don't have to be looking exactly where the derailleur is. You will feel that and hear that. And this Shimano index system is used here for all the components, I mean all the group sets. Shimano Tourney, maybe the most important factors is how many gears we've got, right? What kind of bottom bracket we've got and how does it work? Well, these group sets work pretty fine. We have, in this group set, we have both Freewheels and the cassettes. Here are the Freewheels, I'm just showing you. So these will be assembled to the cheapest bike on the market. And on the Freewheels we have 7 gears and 6 gears. So we have either 6 or 7 gears in the rear. Now I don't know why Shimano doesn't show that we have mega range. Yeah, that's the sign here, because there is a freewheel here with the mega range system, and that means that you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 gears for like commuting for some flat roads, and if you go up the hill somewhere you can use this extra gear. That will be huge difference between the smaller one and the mega range one, but you'll be able just to cycle up the hill instead of walking. So you can see a mega range here and here on those Freewheels. In terms of the derailleurs, we've got many different options. It looks like 5 different group sets or even more, you don't have to be worried about this, because those would be made for different mount on your bicycle. Anyway, you will be able to find the right derailleur for your bicycle, that's for sure. Then the bottom bracket on both the Shimano Tourney and Shimano Tourney TX will be, of course, the square taper. That's the cheapest one, the heaviest one. It's not also very stiff, I would say, but if it's well made, it can really last long. I've been doing some old school projects for the last like a year, and sometimes from 20 years old bikes I would just remove the bottom bracket that was working super smooth. So you don't have to be worried about the weight, because for the beginning cyclist you don't have to be thinking really about it, and for flat roads it doesn't matter that much. We've got all the chain sets here triple. Of course we'll have also 1x6, 1x7 or 3x6, 3x7, so this 1x will be really like a commuter bike, and this one, well, it will just have the range, the gearing range for some hilly terrain. So if you live in some hilly terrain, 3x6 will be just enough. So you don't have to be thinking about having maybe 3x7 or 3x8, or now we have like 11 or 12. 3x6 will be really really enough. One thing on Shimano Tourney here is that the smallest cock on the freewheel will be 12 teeth. 12 teeth. So if you like to go fast down the hill, it won't let you go really fast. That can be quite annoying when your bodies are just, you know, spinning down the hill and you are just spinning but not riding. So maybe the 11 teeth cassette to have would be nice. Then we have many different kind of front derailleurs and many different kind of the shifters. These were the shifters I had been studying with many years ago. Super to use, super easy to maintain, no problems. These are actually quite light, but you have also the easy fire system. That's the combo of the brake lever and the shifters. For the Tourney we have also the revo shift, so it works kind of like a grip shift. I like it very much, and it's really a huge shame for me that Shimano doesn't make it for like XTR, XT, SLX. I would be glad to use those. These are my favorite. Super smooth. All the shifters here have the optical gear display, so that you can see exactly on which gear you are. This is really super comfortable and very good. So this is Shimano Tourney. When we go to Shimano Tourney TX, that will be here. That's the TX. The main differences will be that Shimano Tourney TX has a Hyperdrive system. I'm gonna explain you that in a minute. Shimano Tourney TX has the mechanical disc brake, and also on the disc brake they have this system. They say that there is more spacing between the pads on the disc brakes, so that you could avoid those really annoying, you know, rubbing pads against the disc, the rotor. So it's cool. And another thing is also that we have 8 gears here, and I think on those cassettes we will find some 11. No, we've got also the 12x32. That's the cassette. That's not the freewheel. So once again we are starting with 12 teeth, but having 8 gears. What's the difference between 6, 7 and 8? You must be looking at the number of the smallest and the largest sprocket, so that you know what's the range of your gearing. And if you have more, that means that you have less distance between different gears. Like if you wanna keep your momentum, your cadence, your speed of your legs, let's call it, for the beginning cyclist, more gears will help you with that. But for the newbies, really, it doesn't matter that much. So we have the option of V-brakes or disc brakes. and then this is the disc brakes here, that's the rotor, and that's our caliper. Mechanical, easy to use, easy to maintain, once more, just cool. Hyperdrive system. That's the combination of a special design SGX, so-called SGX chain rings on the crankset, and also the wide link front derailleur, because on front derailleur you will also see this this little logo of Hyperdrive. Should be somewhere here. Where was it? That's here. That's Hyperdrive system, and that basically means that it improves changing the gears in the front, so not in the rear, in the front. That's allowing you for maybe more load on the crankset while you are changing the gear. It doesn't mean that you can really push hard your crankset and then change the gear. We want to avoid that on any group set actually, but the gear change in the front will be smoother, so maybe a bit better for some hilly terrain. And that's basically it, because the bottom bracket here will also be square tapered. Yeah, we have cassette, we don't have freewheel here. In Shimano Tourney, not TX was also the freewheel. We've got the easy fire shifters or combos, also with optical gear display, and that is basically it. I think that the bottom bracket will be even the same model. If we look here, it's BBUN 100, so that's pretty much the same. Both group set will be really good for beginning cyclists, and if you are just buying like a stock bike, a cheap bike, just make sure that it has at least most of the components from Tourney, because sometimes people buy a bike and they say, oh, I have bike on SIS. They call it SIS. It's a Tourney because Shimano index system is on all the components. And they have only like the rear derailleur and the right shifter from Shimano, and the rest is just like cheap, I don't know from where parts, and they say that Tourney is not that good because it doesn't work very well. If you have like complete group set, it really works together very smoothly. It's really well done in my opinion, and I know many people who are just using, you know, their bikes somewhere in the city regularly, not really maintaining it, cleaning and lubricating the chain, and the chain is like super durable, and the group set is still working very smoothly after many years. So I would not say that it's not that quality as SLX or XT or XTR. It's different components, much more cheaper. It doesn't have to be so maybe you know, precise. Doesn't have to have so much precision like the derailleur, because it will work on only 6 or 7 gears, not 11 gears. So no need for that, and you will find anything you would like to, if you even want to go on some steep hills. And if you're maybe thinking about the gearing ratio, how steep the group set will allow you to go with 6 gears, 7 gears, no problem going any hill. But some like super steep hill, beginner cyclists would just push their bikes walking up the hill anyway, so you don't have to have that huge range. But 3x6, 3x7 will be just enough. So once more, for Shimano Tourney TX, maybe that would be the one I would go for. You have the option of mechanical disc brakes. You have this Hyperdrive system that improves changing the gears in the front, and you have the cassette here of 8 gears, right? And Shimano Tourney has 7 and 8. So Shimano Tourney TX will give you 8 gears in the rear. That's the cassette of Shimano Tourney. It's not the highest group of 8 gears because there will be also Altos and Acera 8 gear compatible. I'm gonna cover that in the next episode. If you have any further questions, I will try to find more infos. There's not so much on the internet about Shimano Tourney. I don't know why. but there just isn't. That's why I'm showing you just what I've got on my computer. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and I will see you in 12 hours. Let me know in the comment section what would you like to see and how do you like the series of covering different components or group sets of Shimano wrench. Once more, thanks for your support and see you soon. Bye.